Okay, so welcome to Coffee, Eggs and Inspiration. It's a weekly show that goes out over YouTube and as a podcast over all of the major channels. And each week I get to generally physically sit with an inspiring person. Today it's virtually, of course, from COVID lockdown, and listen to them tell their story and share it with all of you. Today is no different, and this week is no different. I'm here today with Benjamin Hay. Welcome, Benjamin.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, really well. I think the way that we're doing this, we're using Google Meet, so when I'm speaking, it's me on screen. It's when you're speaking, it's you on screen. It'll be mostly you on screen. But let me start by giving you the customary introduction. So Benjamin is the co-founder and chief operating officer of Collective Benefits. Collective Benefits is an insurtech, that's insurance technology, platform for self-employed workers in the UK, the so-called gig economy, freelancers, in other words. And it provides a sort of a collective mechanism for things like sick pay, health support, childcare, accident care, wellness, and other perks. So for that sort of collective economy, and I think 6 million people in the UK alone are in that style of employment. Self-employment. Previously, Benjamin's got a really interesting background. What I describe as an archipelago career. Started as a business consultant with Arthur Andersen all of those years ago. Was a barrister for 8 years. So like me, a recovering lawyer. And then went on through a program called On Purpose as a fellow. That's a year-long leadership development program, which Benjamin earlier described to me as his sort of finding himself process, and then fell into the arms of Virgin Unite, which is the entrepreneurial foundation of the Virgin Group, in a strategy and operations role, which is actually the same role I do at Google. So we have a lot in common in terms of background. Super interested to get into this and explore with you, Benjamin. The first thing I want to ask, and it's certainly a question that I get asked a lot, is why all of these pivots? What takes you from business consulting into law, and not just law, it's like hardcore court work, right, barrister, into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I wish I had a really succinct and wonderful answer to that, and I could tell you that I planned all sorts of things out. I think I was always, as a kid, one of those people who was horrendously jealous of someone who knew what they wanted to do with their life. You know, people who knew they wanted to be doctors or lawyers or whatever else it was. And I don't think I ever really knew, and I still don't think I ever really know. There are just things that I'm interested in, want to do, and life is too short not to try them. So along the way, I've done things, I've enjoyed them, some more than others, and I think I've just found the time is right to try and do different stuff, and I think I've been fortunate to be able to do that.
Fantastic. And but did you find that scary, you know, as you were, let's say you made the decision, obviously 8 years into a legal career, to then jump into a leadership development program, obviously with a view to doing something else? Was that a hard decision to make?
Yeah, look, it was tough. I think you spend time building up a practice and a reputation, and trying to advance, and in what is a competitive field. And someone once said to me, never cut what you can untie. And I think the fortunate thing about being a barrister is that I could keep my place in chambers for a period of time whilst I experimented with trying to do something different. And so whilst I made the leap, I did the leap with sort of very large safety net attached to me if I ever needed to go back. So more of a bungee jump, perhaps.
More of a bungee jump. Well, bungee jumps are still scary, right? Never cut what you can untie. There, I'm gonna borrow that. Excellent. And what is it that drew you from the law into this sort of more entrepreneur? You're a founder of a startup right now, right? So
yeah, and that journey I think was partly driven by my time at Virgin Unite. But I think when I went through the journey of being a lawyer, I looked at what I really loved doing, and what I really loved doing was trying to work on something of public importance, trying to really help someone along the way, and trying to have a bigger impact through my work. And whilst I loved law, Legal London is quite a narrow place. It's, you know, the kind of square mile of law firms and barristers and all that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to do something which I think was just bigger and more expansive. And, you know, fortunately with Virgin Unite, I got that opportunity.
Fantastic. Well, do you find that you missed wearing the wig? I don't know about you, but
I miss wearing the wig. It's downstairs somewhere in the house, and every now and then I get it out just to make the kids laugh. But yeah, it's you know, it's an amazing career, an amazing profession, the bar, and I'm really glad I did it. But no regrets as well.
It is. I agree. A little side story on the wig. Obviously, you worked at a more salubrious place. We had the firm that I was at had a shared pool of wigs. I think we had about 4 or 5, and you had to book them out if you're going to go to court. And many of the colleagues I worked with in those days were rather large, bald men, and who sweated profusely, particularly in the more sunny climate that we were in. So it wasn't always a pleasant experience putting the horse's hair wig on. There's a story from the past. I haven't practiced in 25 years.
But when I wore mine, I always felt like I was better at my job. I don't know what that is. It's something about, you know, being in a uniform, feeling prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some sort of mask we wear, I guess.
Yeah, I think very much so.
So tell me more about collective benefits. It's a really intriguing value proposition.
Yeah, so the problem we're trying to solve is the financial wellness and safety net for self-employed people, gig workers. As you mentioned, there are 6 million of them in the UK, and fundamentally, being self-employed is amazing. You know, I was self-employed as a barrister. You get lots of freedom, flexibility. You know, you can pick and choose. But what you fundamentally lack is all the great things I had at Virgin as an employee. I turned up on day one. I had sick pay. I had pension contributions. I had access to a great family leave policy, perks, discounts, health insurance, all the sorts of things which, you know, attract, retain, and engage your team. But self-employed people don't have any of that. You know, they're much more exposed, and that's something which we've obviously seen in recent months with COVID-19. And so we're trying to solve that problem for them.
So how does it work? What are the mechanics? If you're a freelance worker, a gig economy worker, what do you do?
Yeah, so we have I suppose two routes to market. So we partner with gig economy platforms to provide our benefits to their workers and working communities. So they are able to become members of Collective. The gig platform contributes or pays for all of their membership, including some of their benefits, and they join our digital platform. One of the things we accelerated because of COVID was our direct-to-consumer offering. You know, we were aware of a significant number of freelancers who were exposed, and so they too can join as members of our membership club and be part of Collective Benefits and pick the benefits and rewards that they would like. Interesting.
And based on that selection, I guess they pay some sort of subscription, and that then it's an insurance type.
Yeah, we have a mixture of insurance products and then non-insurance products, and we're starting to expand out more broadly into financial wellness. So thinking about some of the things you can do with open banking as well and savings.
Right. Okay. And have you noticed an uplift since COVID-19 and lockdown and the circumstances? You know, are you getting more interest through than you have in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely saw a kind of a big uptick in interest and inquiries, and just general, whether that was both from consumers or from platforms. You know, people both want to do the right thing and protect themselves. I think what COVID fundamentally did was it just brought to people the front of mind problem which people knew about but pushed off. You know, the reality is no one wakes up in the morning thinking, you know what I really want to do today? I really want to go out and buy some insurance. That's not top of people's mind, and it fundamentally changed that. It pushed that kind of nagging worry to the front of people's mind, and I think we'll see that continue, you know, as and when things start to improve as well.
For sure, you know, it's teaching all of us a new perspective on life in many dimensions. Interested, you know, as a person who runs a business in the gig economy, I'm really interested in your perspectives about what this period will do, both positive and negative, for the employment situation and the sort of division between the gig economy and the more sort of formal employment type workers.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, I think the first thing it's done is that it's brought, I think, just to most people's attention how important and how much we rely upon gig economy and gig workers. And we're not, yes, we're talking about the delivery drivers, logistic drivers, the people bringing your Amazon parcels, whatever else it might be, or food deliveries and things over the last few months. But we're also talking about medical professionals. The NHS relies upon significant banks of self-employed doctors to meet their urgent requirements. And those staffing needs are incredibly pressing at the moment. So I think it's fundamentally altered how we value gig economy workers within society. The question now is, what do we do to show how how do we show that value to those individuals? How do we show that they matter in the same way as their employees? What is the social contract that needs to be in place with them as contributors to our economy?
Yeah, I think it's looking at the numbers, I think the trend of gig economy workers in the style that you describe is only increasing and will continue to increase in the time ahead. So it sounds like you're in a good place. Not easy running a business though, right? You're a founder. So what have been some of the some of the mistakes and things that you've learned from along the way as you've navigated the road that you're on collective benefits?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I had this conversation with someone the other day, and I think people wear sort of like entrepreneurship like a cross on their back, like the weight of being an entrepreneur. And I'm not sure I subscribe to that. I'm fortunate. I've got a great business partner, great team, and we're building a business. And I think the thing that I've learned is it's not going to be perfect from day one, and you need to just keep improving and refining. And just trying to keep moving forward, even when things are difficult. And, you get a little bit of luck on the way. We were lucky. We closed the funding round at the end of January, which means we're well positioned to ride out what is a very difficult time economically. But it's still hard. You still want to be trying to, grow as quickly as possible, help as many people as possible, support your team around you as much as possible, and we've had to learn to adapt in multiple ways over the last few months.
Yes, I think adaptability is the new superpower, right? In the COVID-19 age, and lots of businesses are sort of pivoting in a really interesting way. Closing your funding round in January 2020, what a serendipitous event that was, and well timed.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, you need a bit of luck, and that's a very significant bit of luck. So it set us up nicely for just to kind of have a bit of time and a bit of patience to ride out this period, as well as invest in really improving our products and services. So when things do pick up, hopefully we'll have a much better offering for people.
Well, this is the pattern from past recessions. Those who invest wisely in the dip emerge strongly as a result. So great that you've got that that war chest, so to speak. And think about Britain as we emerge, hopefully from the crisis. And you think about people like my son who's 18, others who are young and maybe thinking about a career, or indeed some people who may be thinking about a mid or late career pivot. What advice, as somebody who's an expert in pivoting from a personal point, what advice would you have for them?
I think you can sound really cliched with some of this stuff. Like, you should do things that you enjoy in life if you have that opportunity. You need to decide what's important to you and work out what those factors are and be true to them. And if something isn't quite meeting all those requirements, then find the things that do. that's not to say, and I do stress this, and I stress this particularly to young people, that's not to say don't stick at things as well. When I look at my CV, and yes, I've done different things, but I spent chunks of time doing different things. And I think you need to have a bit of a tour of duty somewhere. You need to build up experience. That just makes you, better set up to succeed in whatever else you go on to do.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Actually, it's often overlooked. Variety is great, but experience tourism won't necessarily be contributing strongly to a future. But great advice. Find something you like and do it. I hear that a lot on this channel when I meet people. I've never heard "never cut what you can't untie." So you've left us with something golden there. That's something unique. And your path is an inspiration, and the business is a fantastic idea. So thanks so much, Benjamin Hay, for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Great chat.